Hey guys, so I'm out here on my farm. Got some beautiful area around me. This is part of the area that's going to become the future dirt bike track up in here. Place I like to run the LMTV out and around. Day before Christmas, took the truck out here. Been raining quite a bit. Getting a little soupy. There you go. You can see the hill right there behind the Army truck. Didn't make it up the hill, so I carefully backed it down. And this is a hill that I've been able to make it up many times with the truck, with my Nissan, with all the things. But just too slippery, even with getting a run at it. So I backed it up, and let's get a little closer here. You can see there's a little gorge in the property here, and there is running water under the truck. It's running right where we're at. So my truck has actually been sitting here for 3 days, and in those 3 days got a little more stuck. I think the water pushed out some of the soil and it sank a little deeper. So we're going to recover it today. You may recognize this area as where I recovered it before, but it was actually back behind my Nissan where I had to pull it out before. So let me show you the setup. So starting at this end, hooked up to the Army's shackle here. I've got my worn soft shackle Epic snatch block. This is the first time I've used this. I'm excited about this. Look how tight the pulley is to the sides there. I think this is a problem I had before recovering this truck. I think my rope jumped off the pulley, pinched itself on the pin farther down in there, and I think that's what caused my line to break, possibly. Not entirely sure. I am winching out 18,000 pounds of truck, not including mud suction here. So moving on from there, winch line was not long enough. This is where it ended. I haven't put on my winch end yet since I respooled brand new line. So I've got another soft shackle connecting to a winch line extension, which is a chunk of my old winch line. Good to save those things. Got it connected up here to the truck, to my recovery point, under the truck, factory recovery point. So gonna give that a go. That's how we did it in the past. It's not going to look like much here, but I've got a tail hold with a tree strap, just to keep the pickup from pulling itself forward rather than recovering the Army truck. So let's see how this works. All right, guys, one more thing just thinking about. I'm doing this recovery by myself. This is a downhill recovery towards my truck. It's pretty flat, but it still has a little slope. Like I mentioned, the truck weighs 9 tons. There's nobody going to be in the cab of the truck because I have to control my winch from my truck because I have got my corded winch controller there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a strap on the back of the truck, connect it to one of those trees, and we will make sure that it doesn't slide forward and smash up the front of my pickup. I would not be very happy about that, neither would my wife. Now, I don't have another tree strap. I'm going to use my Bubba rope, which has actually recovered that Army truck several times as well. It's going to be a nice slow recovery. People might not like this idea because it is elastic, but because I'm not putting a lot of stress on it like a rubber band, I'm just using it to hold it in place if it does start to roll downhill. It's going to be just fine. So I'm going to go with this attached. All right, here's some more water running off the hill that the truck couldn't make it up. Just flowing, coming from the property behind us. Got the Bubba rope just acting like a little stop measure just in case we have an issue. You can look and see how nasty this mud is. Just glad I got my boots on. Hopefully I don't get my boots stuck. Have to walk out in my socks. All right, I'm in my nice warm cab here, all set up to pull, tucked behind the windshield. Take it and put it into neutral here. Take the parking brake off. Got my foot on the brake down there. Get ready to winch it in here. See what happens, fingers crossed. I've got the Army truck in neutral down there, and the air brakes off, so that I'm not dragging against that weight also. All right, so I did a first little initial pull to see what's going on here, and we're still under tension here, so I'm back quite a ways. But the pull I'm doing on the Army truck is on the passenger side here. The winch obviously is in the middle, and the recovery point is on the passenger side of my rig. So we got a diagonal going on, and it is, as you can see, the suspension on my truck here is definitely unloaded on the passenger side. I would say the same thing of the Army truck. It's kind of hard to see from here, but I did watch as I was winching the passenger side come up. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to release the tension. We're going to swap shackles on the truck and start pulling from the driver's side. I'm also going to climb in the cab and give the wheel a little crank to the driver's side as well. All right, so I've moved the recovery point to a different spot on the bumper on the truck. I actually straightened my pickup truck out a little bit better, so it'll kind of pull straight on rather than sideways. The strap behind me, you can see, is still at an angle. That just is what it is. And I got the tire rotated as much as it would go in that muck, so ready to give it another go. You can see the Army truck tire straightening out as it's pulling there. A lot of pressure going on between these two straps. Be nice to have someone in the cab driving it forward. Maybe I'll see if I can phone a friend. Well, we got a little bit of a problem here. Put it in park, step out. I just watched in my rearview mirror this tree. I can hardly call it a tree, but trees just started to move. That means I'm pulling it out of the ground with my tail hold. That's not good. I'm gonna try something else here. Climb in the cab of the truck. I've got tension going on that line there. Try to skirt it as much as I can, realistically. And jump in the cab and put it in gear and see if I can pull it out of the slop a little bit. You can see I've made some progress. Not much, but maybe 8 inches. All right, well, it wasn't much, but it popped up out of the hole a little bit. And then it took too much tension off the line and it slipped back down. So I'm gonna jump back in the Nissan. Maybe we've got to just play this game a couple times. Winch, put tension, drive the Army truck forward. Try not to pull down the tree in the back. Just for fun, I added a second strap to another small clump of trees back there, just to add another little bit extra anchor. This is a strap that I rarely ever break out. It's one of those cheap tow straps. I don't know where I got it. Harbor Freight maybe. It's got the metal ends on it. I don't like metal ends, but for what I've used it for, maybe like dragging a car down the road or something, it's ideal for that because it's going to drag on the ground, get some nicks in it and stuff, and you don't want to use your expensive straps for cheap work where they aren't necessarily required. So See if this does it. Give me a little more tail hold. We're gonna do another pull with the winch here. All right. Clear the windshield so we can see a little better. All right, neutral, foot on the brake, winching in. Can barely see the army truck tire climbing up out of that hole as I'm pulling. I think we might have it this time. It's climbing up. Guess we didn't need to phone a friend for this one. We're getting her out. The mighty worn Xeon 10S. Getting its use around the farm. I'm gonna have to stop here in just a minute though. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but my winch line extension is getting very close to the snatch block. We'll suck it in as close as we can and stop and get another pull on it. I may be able to unhook and just drive it out. Maybe I should try that first. Let's head over there. Check. Got a lot of tension on that line, so instead of stepping over it, we're gonna go around the back. Be safe. Safe, not sorry. That one didn't do anything, but this one is still tight back there. I guess I wasn't watching that in the mirror on this pull, so not sure. Not a big deal for those people wondering, well, you're ripping trees out of the ground. All these trees are coming out. Most of this brush is coming out for the dirt bike track that I mentioned earlier in the video. All right, here we go. See what we can do here. Kind of walk uphill once again. Keep myself clear because, like I mentioned, there's tension on that line. We don't need a hospital visit. I guess before we drive it, let's take a peek at these holes here. Let's see. How deep that hole is. It's a big hole. I think I'm gonna unhook this bubba rope because I'm not gonna be able to drive 2 or 3 feet with it hooked up. Yeah, some deep holes. All right, well, I'm gonna unhook this bubba rope and see if I can drive it out. All right, well, the little Nissan did it, or did most of the work anyways. Got it up and out of the holes. Once I got it up that last time, I was able to just put it in first gear with the all-wheel drive engaged and drive it out. I'm gonna have to take it for a little bit of a spirited drive to fling some of that mud off, get her a little clean, presentable, but did it. Couldn't have done it though without my Warn gear. Shout out to Warn. Got my awesome soft shackle, my epic recovery, snatch block, pulley block. Not sure what everybody likes to call them, but couldn't have done it. And of course, the real hero, the Warn winch. No, not my Nissan, but my Nissan is a great hero.